Hey, what's up everybody? Untitled Chapter back with a brand new video. Today we're going to talk about a couple of things, and I think it's important that we caught up on this type of content because it's important to you. First thing we're going to talk about is the prime predictions for the economy. More specifically, we're going to talk about four things. Number one, what's happening economically with the housing market. That's a lot of things that a lot of people need to be aware of. Some of the things are very uncertain in terms of direction for the marketplace, as well as the credit industry specifically, what we need to be on the lookout for as well. What are some of the things you need to pay attention to? We are going to talk about the financial services industry and the instability. And finally, last but not least, and I think this is the most important one, what's happening to businesses? What's going to happen post the pandemic and what's happening right now in the back scenes where we're not being able to see that and the infrastructure that's being set up to accommodate small to medium-sized business owners and the damage that's being done. So stay tuned. So what's up everybody, Untitled Chapter back with a new video. So let's talk about my predictions for the economy, more specifically the housing market. So let's start with that. I think specifically when you look at the housing market, there's a lot of people that are saying, hey, everything's going to be great. You can buy stuff at a discount. You got some pretty nice opportunities to take advantage of this and a whole lot of other things, right? My personal opinion when it comes to the housing market crisis is that, yeah, for sure, there's an amazing opportunity. There's a lot of things you can do there, but at the same time, it's very risky. See, a lot of people are considering the housing market situation and saying, you can buy stuff at a discount. You can buy stuff at a bulk discount right now, and you should definitely go and do that, and you should definitely go into it and invest in that. So the thing with that is, for me specifically, when I look at these type of things is, 100% definitely true that you can buy stuff at a discount when it comes to the housing market crisis. It's definitely a nice opportunity. But the issue there is you need to have capital and you need to have liquidity that you can lock away for a good time until things pick back up. So when it comes to considering real estate, unless you have a heavy amount of cash that you're sitting on or something that you can use and you can ride that wave, then basically it's going to be more and more complicated as things start to progress and you don't have the financial resources to maintain or even go up and beyond that. So that's one of those things that I think you have to be careful with. So a lot of people are not really certain of that. And what they do is they basically go into the housing market situation without understanding these type of consequences, without understanding that that's going to be something that you have to be on the lookout for. So that's just one of the ways that you have to be careful. So if you're thinking about real estate during the housing market crisis, think about that. Think about the consequence of holding on to real estate, given the fact that you have to wait quite a bit. So there's a game of patience there. There's also the credit industry, which we're going to talk about next. So how does the credit industry look like? What's the future look like when it comes to credit? Reality is the credit industry specifically, I think that a lot of people are not really familiarized with the situation that's going on right now. Even though you have some forgiveness programs in terms of payments, even though a lot of people feel like they can get extensions of credit on that, the instability is that a lot of people will have to continue maintaining that debt beyond with the infrastructure of the pandemic. They have to continue making sure that they can pay on time. They're not going to be late. If they borrow more, that means that they have a huge obligation that all of a sudden came out of nowhere just because you have the access to the resource and now you have to pay that down. You're going to be absorbing a lot of financial costs in the process. And the reason I say that is because the pandemic is definitely a great situation for you to take advantage of personal credit. But at the same time, beyond that, what's going to happen is your obligations, you have to be careful with that. You're going to basically have to catch up to those payments. You're going to make sure that you have to pay those things on your bills, because if you don't, you're basically putting yourself in jeopardy and your credit is going to take a hit. And the type of hit you're going to take with your credit is going to be very damaging to a point where it's going to be impossible to repair. And might even take years to repair if possible at all. So be careful with that. The credit industry specifically, I think you have to be very cautious on how you borrow, the type of leverage you're asking for, and do you have the financial stability to be able to maintain that financial leverage. And a lot of people think it's a free-for-all and you just go there and you borrow and then you don't have to worry about paying and you're going to be forgiven and all these type of things. And there's a lot of gurus out there teaching you can just do credit repair if anything goes wrong and all that kind of stuff. And I don't really necessarily agree with the methodology being taught, which is not my forte in terms of deceiving people to get you to do credit repair and stuff like that. But on that note, education-wise, just be careful what you're leveraging and just be careful of the type of financial consequence you're onboarding yourself into. So just keep that in mind. When it comes to financial instability with the marketplace and other things, like let's talk about job losses, right? So over 4.7 million jobs lost in the last month and a half. So it's pretty crazy, and it's an increasing number, right? It's not something that's being disappearing. And that's close to the Great Depression number. So if that just gives you a financial context as to what's happening in the marketplace, that's something that we need to be worried about, because that kind of job loss is a very scary situation to be in, quite honestly speaking. And if you think about that, it's like, what's the next move you got to make? Based on all these type of situations and all these type of things going on, what's the next financial move you got to make? So a lot of people have been resorting to entrepreneurship, and they've been holding some business ideas on the side, and they've been thinking about some of the businesses they want to do, but they never really pulled the trigger on it. It's the reason why they haven't really pulled the trigger on it is because they were not encouraged to go into business in the past. They were not encouraged to try something out because they had a 9-to-5 job, they had a 9-to-5 grind, and they had to maintain that 9-to-5 grind in order to survive and take care of their families. But now comes the time where you have to start thinking about some extra stuff, right? So entrepreneurship right at this moment will probably be one of the most important things that you can venture into. Unfortunately, it's going to be a trial and error experiment. So unfortunately, it's going to be a trial and error experiment. You see, a lot of people are going to be basically hurting themselves, where if they go through the entrepreneurial route because they're not really familiar with the territory, it's brand new, it's a scary thing, they're basically starting with fear, and they're going to be conservative, and they're not going to be making aggressive decisions that entrepreneurs make when it comes to exploiting their business for growth, right? So with that, the next safest thing is businesses. So that's our final topic. It's really what's happening with businesses on my economic outlook and from what I've seen so far in terms of observations. A lot of business owners are actually struggling quite a bit. We know that for a fact. We see that a lot of business owners are looking to shut down their businesses and walk out of their businesses. The mere reason why they're doing this is because, number one, they don't have the financial resources to continue. They've been taking a hit financially because of rent they have to pay, suppliers and vendors they have to take care of. Obviously, when you have pandemic situation happening, everybody's staying at home. So those brick and mortar companies that depend on walking clients as well as physical contact with customers in terms of seeing them face to face, or even let alone doing a product delivery or service face to face, are being affected dramatically. So with that said, private practices to small to medium sized restaurants to manufacturing type of facilities are all hurting a lot, right? So the way I look at it is, economically, there's going to be a lot of damage there. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of these business owners who are they're probably already thinking about selling their business for a long time now, haven't really had the opportunity to sell, and we're about to sell, pre-pandemic, until the point where the pandemic happened and all this stuff just took over. Now it's even worse, right? So due reason, if you look at the situation with the seniors who are looking to sell their business and go into retirement, are now stuck walking out and basically financially deficient. So we think job losses are bad, right? Because we see like, oh my God, we don't have somewhere to go. Imagine the businesses who had a lot of wealth tied to their business, then they've been building up for decades, and all of a sudden that little thing wipes them entirely out, and all that millions of dollars invested over time and hundreds of thousands invested over time is now being left on the table. So if you think about it that way, these are the people who are employing employees, right? They're the ones providing jobs and infrastructure, paying taxes. So there's going to be a relay effect and a cripple effect that's going to affect everybody. And I think this is the time that we have to start thinking about, hey, is it business ownership time? Is it time to think and explore, adventures of going into and saving some of the businesses, or trying to salvage some of the businesses, or potentially buy into those companies? So I do have a masterclass that's coming up, and I'm teaching individuals on how to access businesses, how to find them, how to help those individuals and get some equity in the process. Essentially doing mergers, acquisitions, and basically combination of different resources to be able to save those businesses, grow them, scale them into a point where they can comfortably build a lot of wealth. So that's what's happening next. And some quick announcements before I let you guys go. I'm definitely putting out a lot of recordings recently, privately, based on podcasts. So I'm going to be launching my podcast very soon. We already have the title. I have several episodes that are ready. For those watching this YouTube videos, it's definitely going to be something more enhanced. You want to learn a lot more content. It's going to be very focused around goals, making sure that you can get all the right tools. So once the podcast is launched, it'll be up on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. So stay tuned. Subscribe to this video channel if you haven't so yet. And once videos are coming out, you'll be notified. But at the same time, you'll be well aware of the announcement being made when the podcast launches. I also plan on putting the podcast on the video channel as well over time, so that just you can hear it here on YouTube or listen in to whatever platform that you're desired on. So whatever it be, like Google Play, iOS device, which is iTunes and or Stitcher. So that's one of those exciting things that I'm looking forward to. And for those who are still interested in learning credit, I mean, this is the time to really take your knowledge to the next level, to invest in yourself. If you get money set aside and if you want to invest and grow your education and do the right things, then consider the Ultimate Personal Credit Mastery. The link is in the description of this video. So you can sign up. It's $1,000 at the moment. Price will go up because there's some infrastructure that's going to be added. There's also the Ultimate Business Credit Mastery for a business owner who is looking to restructure your business, to add more credit to it, to scale it, to protect your assets, business and personally. That's an opportunity for you as well. So the link is also in the description. And once again, if you're new and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing and turning the bell icon on all instead of personalized, so you get all my notifications. I noticed that a lot of people in my comments have left in the past and reached out to me saying they don't get notifications from my videos. So that's one of the things that you want to do. And finally, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that it's very quick. There's a lot of content that I just shot out here. And I just wanted to give you guys my intake on my economic outlook and what I see and predict in terms of what's going to happen to the economy, in terms of housing, in terms of financial market, the credit industry, financial instability, as well as business owners. And with that said, I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give it a like. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think about this video. Also, give me a yes if you would like to see another live stream coming up soon. So give me a yes in the comment section. Say yes, I'd love to see another live stream. I definitely want you guys to participate so we can have a communication system there so that I can answer your question to the best of my ability. Okay, so with that said, this is your guide and mentor, Ali After. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.